This screencast will show you how to install and configure Aeolus. I'm going to install this on a virtual machine running in EC2, running Fedora 15. I'm referencing the documentation on aeolusproject.org. I'm going to go down to the section of Get It to get the repo drop file for Fedora 15. I'll go ahead and wget that into the drop directory. I'm simply going to install the Aeolus all package. That will pull in all the dependencies. Once all the packages are installed, I'll go ahead to the next step, which is to run Aeolus configure with a default profile of EC2. The provider profile will set up all the configuration parameters for the EC2 provider, and I'll show you what that looks like in the web application called Conductor. Go ahead and log into this Fedora 15 machine, get the host name, pull it up in the browser, and load the Conductor web application. Admin is the username, the default password is password. And we'll look around a little bit here. Here we can see the default pool that was created by the Aeolus configure script. There's one admin user that was created by that configuration script. In the administration section, you can see under cloud providers that the EC2 provider was configured. There's no user account yet, so I'll go ahead and add my own EC2 user account information in here, which we'll use later to connect to EC2. Now that we have a provider account, I'll go ahead and test the connection. And we successfully connected to EC2. Moving along in the documentation, I want to make sure that SE Linux is turned off for now. And I'm going to update the firewall on this machine. Get enforce returns disabled, so SE Linux is turned off on this machine. I'm going to go ahead and insert a firewall rule. IP tables, insert. Make sure that that now allows port 443 connections from outside, and it does. Okay, now that we have everything set up there, let's go ahead and get ready to build an image. I'm going to go ahead and copy the template XML from the documentation site. I will create a template file, paste that in, and that will just reference the installation repo for Fedora 15. I'm going to go ahead and add a root password element here. Now I'm able to use the Aeolus image command line tool to invoke the build of an image using the template file we just created for the EC2 target. And this is a quick command. You'll get an image, a build, a target image. You'll use those in the next command, which is Aeolus image push, which actually does the interaction with image factory and Oz and does the installation in EC2. So I will supply the provider region. I will provide the image UUID. The build UUID. The target image UUID. The provider account that I added via the web application. Alright, the feedback is instantaneous. If you look at the image factory log file, you can watch the progress of the installation. This does take a bit of time, so I'll go ahead and save you the detail there. The installation's complete. I'm going to create a deployable XML that describes how we want to use the image that we just built. I'm going to do a very simple deployable. You can do some fairly extravagant and interesting things with an assembly. In this scenario, I'm just going to copy and paste the deployable definition off the Aeolus project website, and I'm going to change just the metadata around naming, describing the deployable, and then I'll alter the image ID and add a build ID. Okay. Now we place that file in var www.html, which is the default hosting location for Apache. I can now go into the content section of Conductor, create a new catalog, which is essentially just a bucket for catalog entries. And it's the catalog entry that's going to point to that XML file that we just created. Go ahead and drill down into the catalog that can contain many catalog entries. I'll go ahead and fill this form out. Demo catalog entry. And let's see, let's just grab the host name because we're hosting it on this same machine. Put the host name followed by f15-deployable.xml. Go ahead and save that. Okay, now we can go to the Monitor tab. And we can go into the default pool. The top right of your screen, you'll see a little catalog where I can select the demo catalog. It will show the available catalog entries, show the details of the hardware profile. Go ahead and select that, and we're going to go ahead and launch this. Now this makes a call out to EC2, says use that image that we created a little bit earlier and instantiate it. Notice the state is pending. I can go ahead and download the key that will be used for any SSH connections. Just download that. And we'll wait for that instance to come up. Go ahead and chmod that key that we just downloaded to 400. And use that certificate -I, reference the key that we just downloaded. Log in as the root user. Go back to the web application to get the host name. And we should be logged in. Now, all that work took a bit of time, but now that we've built the image and built a deployable and built the template, we can easily create another instance using that same image. So go ahead and go back to the catalog and look at the details there. Select. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the name to be unique so that there's no naming conflict. Maybe I'll do it just for ease. Call it another demo catalog entry. Name's available. Go ahead and launch. And that will be ready in just a couple minutes. Download the key. And as we did before, we'll go ahead and chmod that new key to 400. And log in as the root user. Go get our host name. And we're done. And now that we're done with those two Fedora 15 images that we instantiated, we can go to the default pool, look at the table view, select both images, and stop them. We'll see a quick message saying that they've been successfully queued for stop. And we'll check the AWS console, and they are now shut down.